Hello friends, this time I am here to give you complete explanation of the poem A Tiger in the Zoo, a poem of class 10, Language and Literature. A Tiger in the Zoo is composed by Leslie Norris. It sounds as if it is a female name, but it's not like that. His complete name is George Leslie Norris. George Leslie Norris is a prize-winning Welsh poet and a teacher turned poet. Teacher turned full-time poet. In this poem of Lassie Norris, there are 5 stanzas with the rhyme scheme A, B, C, B. And how the rhyme scheme is noted, I'll be telling you, I'll be explaining you during the complete and elaborate explanation of the poem, A Tiger in the Zoo. In this poem, the poet sympathizes with the tiger who is in the zoo, and he brings out agony and helplessness of the tiger who is in the zoo, and the tiger who should have been in the forest and enjoying his natural habitat, enjoying his usual uh, games there, but he is in the cage, and that's why he is confined to a very few activities here. For convenience and better understanding, I have given 5 categories to these 5 stanzas. According to me, in the first stanza, the poet has brought about pathetic condition of the tiger who is in the zoo. In the second one, the poet talks about tiger who is making wild actions in the forest in its natural habitat. In the third stanza, again the poet has brought forward a tiger's form as a terror monger tiger, the tiger who is terrorizing the people in the village. In the fourth one, the tiger has been shown and as an indifferent object, एक उदासीन ऑब्जेक्ट के रूप में जो लोगों को इग्नोर कर रहा है. He is not taking interest in the people because he is in the zoo, he is in the cage. And the fifth one also, the tiger is shown as lonely but full of hopefulness. So how are these things there in the poem? Let's see stanza wise and line wise explanation of the poem, and then everything will be clear to you. In the first stanza, we read it like this. He stalks in his vivid stripes the few steps of his cage on pets of velvet quiet in its quiet rage. पोएट यह कहता है कि the tiger is in the cage. He is in the zoo, he is in its cage, and he takes only a few movements in the cage because of the limited space. And he is very much marked because of its bright stripes, which is a unique and characteristic feature of physical feature of a tiger. धारियां होती हैं इसकी बॉडी पर, उससे एकदम से मार्क हो रहा है, विजिबल हो रहा है. He takes a few steps in the cage because of limited space, and it's not producing any sort of noise. His movement is very quiet because of his velvety pads. उसके जो paws हैं वो velvety हैं. That's why when he is moving, he is not making any noise, and he is in his quiet rage. Quiet rage, quiet, शांत, rage, गुस्सा. Two opposite words are used here. He is quiet because he is not roaring at the people. He is quiet. He is not giving gestures as if he is giving any sort of terror mark to the people. But he is in rage. He is rage because he is devoid of freedom. He has been captured and he is provided with a very limited space in the cage, and that's why he is in rage. You know, the poet has used oxymoron in the last line of with these two words, quiet rage. Quiet and rage, these are two opposite words having contrasting meaning. So when two words having contrasting meaning are used together, we say that it is oxymoron. So the poet has used poetic device oxymoron here. So now, sympathizing with the tiger, the poet imagines that the tiger is in its natural habitat in the forest. And what he would be doing in the forest, the poet brings out what the tiger should have been doing in the forest if he had been there. He should be lurking in a shadow. The poet says that the tiger would have taken its position. He had hidden himself in the grass and stealthily moving to catch its prey, and that is a plumpy, that is a fatty deer which comes to drink water in the water pond. So he would be there in order to catch and kill its prey. So the poet has brought out wild and natural action on tiger. This is a very natural phenomenon in the forest. Tigers and all those animals, the wild animals, they catch their prey and eat it. This is a natural phenomenon. So now again the poet imagines that the tiger is not in the zoo, but he is in its natural habitat in the forest. So he should be snarling around houses. The poet imagines that the tiger is roaring and terrorizing people. Which people? Those who live at the edge of the jungle, those people who have built houses at the edge of the jungle, and he will be terrorizing them. The tiger will be terrorizing them with his fangs, with his wearing fangs, by opening his mouth and showing his pointed teeth and pointed claws. And this way he will be terrorizing the villagers, these people who are living at the edge of the jungle. The tiger should have been doing all these things if he had been in his natural habitat, that is forest. But where is the tiger right now? He is in the zoo. So again the poet shifts the tiger in the zoo and talks about its condition, which is full of plight. The poet says, but at presently the tiger is in the zoo, he is locked in a concrete cell. He is behind the bars and he is behind the strong cell, strong cage. He cannot come out here on his own. Though he is full of his strength, but he cannot come out because the cell is very strong. His strength behind bars means his body is behind bars. Strength. The poet has substituted the word body of the tiger with his strength, and when such references are there, we say that the poetic device metonymy is used here. तो पोएट ने मेटोनमी यूज करी है, उसने बॉडी के लिए वर्ड यूज करा है स्ट्रेंथ. मींस अपनी पूरी स्ट्रेंथ, जो एक ताकतवर प्राणी है, जो एक फुल ऑफ स्ट्रेंथ है, इसकी बॉडी में बहुत ताकत है, वो भी इस केज को तोड़ करके बाहर नहीं आ सकता है. Stalking the length of the cage, ignoring visitors, and where he is moving, he is moving in the limited space of his cage, and he is ignoring visitors, means he is not paying attention to the visitors who often come there, and he does not take interest. He is ignoring them all because he is not happy at his situation in the cage. In the fifth stanza, now we are switching over to the fifth stanza. Is beginning like that. He hears the last voice at night, the patrolling cars. The tiger is disturbed by the noise of the patrolling cars which move in the zoo in order to ensure safety and security to the animals. Tiger listens the voice of the patrolling cars and he stares with brilliant eyes. And because he is lonely, his condition is not very good. He is sad, and what does he do in his lonely condition? He keeps on staring at the brilliant stars, the bright twinkling stars. At the brilliant stars with his brilliant eyes. Brilliant eyes with his bright eyes. Because tiger is also from the family of the cat and their eyes shine at night. And what does the meaning brilliant imply here? The poet has used the word brilliant here twice, means it's a repetition in two consecutive lines, and when there is repetition, it means the poet wants to emphasize something. What is this why the poet has emphasized this? Because brilliant, the tiger is staring at the brilliant stars, which means the tiger is hopeful that he too will be free and would be in its natural habitat sometime as the stars are. The stars are in its natural place. They are twinkling. They are well set in their present position, in their natural place. The tiger also longs for the freedom, and this is in this last two lines a sort of hopefulness in the tiger is shown, that he is hopeful that he too will enjoy his natural habitat one day. So this was your poem. This is your poem of 5 stanzas, and as I have told you, different categories of stanzas, and you will find the same sort of sense in the different 5 stanzas, having marking scheme A, B, C, B. A, how is A, B, C, B? So let's talk about end of the stanza. Let's take first stanza. See the last word of the first stanza, that is stripes. Stripes को हम number देते हैं A. Okay. And the last word of second line is cage, because cage is not like rhyming with stripes, so we'll give it B. Again the next word is quiet, that is also a different word, we'll give it C. Then we come to the last word of the fourth line, the last line, and that is rage, and rage is similar in rhyming to cage, we'll also give it B. So जब हम note करेंगे pattern, then it will come A, B, C, B. And ABCB is the pattern of the whole poem. The rhyming scheme of the poem of every stanza is ABCB. अब आप खुद check करिएगा ABCB कैसे है ये, right? So now let's talk about a few questions of the poem, which are very important questions. In the poem, we usually see extract-wise questions, but short questions are also there. So let's discuss a few questions. And let's see how much you people have comprehended about the poem, how much you have understood the poem. First question. Why is the tiger angry? Why is tiger angry? This is the question from the first stanza. Tiger is angry. Why is tiger angry? Because he is devoid of his freedom. He has lost his freedom. He is in the cage, which does not provide him much space to move, and he is not able to make his wild actions there. That's why the tiger is angry. Okay. Now let's see the second question. Why should he be lurking in shadow? Why should? Lurking means to hide secretly. So he would be secretly hiding in the long grass in order to catch its prey, the plumpy tiger, the plumpy deer, who comes there to drink water from the water pool. So he is waiting, he has taken position in the long grass to take its prey, the deer. Next question. How does the tiger terrorize the villagers? The tiger terrorizes the villagers by opening its mouth and showing its pointed fangs, pointed teeth, and also showing its pointed claws. So terrorizing the people, showing his fangs and showing his claws. Next question. What is the tiger's attitude toward the visitors? Tiger is ignorant. He is not paying much attention because he is feeling sad in his present situation, and those people who are coming there, they often disturb him, often disturb his peaceful movement, often disturb his peace, and that's why he has become ignorant to all those visitors who are coming there. So he is showing ignoring attitude, and he is showing ignorance to the people who are coming there. Next question. What does the eye of tiger look at night? What does it imply? The tiger keeps staring at the twinkling stars, the bright stars at night, and there is also brightness in his eyes, which implies that the tiger is hopeful and longing for his lost freedom, and he is hopeful that one day he too will be free. He will enjoy freedom. He will be in his natural place as the stars are. Next and the last question. What are the different poetic devices used in the poem? As I told you during the explanation, in the poem, the poet has used oxymoron, which is very much there in the last line of the first stanza, in the two words, white rage. Two different words used together. Poet has also used metonymy here. Metonymy used किया है poet ने, because poet has substituted body of the tiger with his strength. Metonymy used किया है, that I have already explained. Poet ने इस poem में poet ने personification भी use किया है, because tiger has been personified here has been used here as a person. So in various places, personification is also there. As is saying in quiet rage, so personification is there also in the poem. So I think you will have understood the theme as well as the whole poem, and everything will be clear to you. So good luck, and we'll be meeting you soon with other videos. Thank you.